Hello guys, it's Weeb Opinions here. You can call me Weebs. Yeah, I haven't made one of these in forever, so this is gonna be great. So to start, this video is gonna be a Dragon Ball Z explanation video, or at least explaining why I don't like Dragon Ball Z and why I think it's a poorly made series, and my personal opinion from what I've watched. Why I'm making this. The big reason is that there's a Quaman's video, Quaman's line, what we want to call him, Quinn, whatever. He made a video talking about somebody's breakdown of why they think Dragon Ball Z sucks and whatever. And he was sitting there like, debunking it, and I'm putting air quotes around the word debunk because he was just giving his opinion over someone else's opinion, which doesn't really debunk everything. He was trying to justify all the bullshit in Dragon Ball Z, whatever. But when I was watching the video and I just went in the comments, I'm like, it's shit. There's really nothing to say about Dragon Ball Z. It's pretty shitty. And then he said, oh, why don't you tell me why? Elaborate. I'm like, I'll just make a video. But that was months ago, and I haven't had time to really record. But now I do have time to record, so now I'm making the video. Anyway, this is the video being made right now. So I really considered how I was going to go about this entire video, right? I could have sat here and just, nitpicked every single little thing about Dragon Ball Z, made like a whole breakdown analysis, like flashcards and shit, really went in depth with how bad Dragon Ball Z is, like turning over every stone and picking at every single plot point. But, not really my thing, really don't care that much to sit there and actually watch all the episodes of Dragon Ball Z all over again, like, I found an error, it's time to add this to the video, it's a nice little checklist. Yeah, no, I don't have the patience and time to do all of that. So I'll just kind of break down what I think about personally, from what I've like known about the show and whatnot. I did make a review on Dragon Ball Z, and I'll definitely get into that and why that was made a certain way, why my opinion differs so much now. I'll get into it, trust me.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
To start, I guess I'll organize this in a really simple way. It'll be story, character, or maybe character story, whatever I'd say go first. Music and art, that's all well, and I really don't count that into the overall rating. I think depending on what you watch, if it was the sub or the dubbed, some of the music fit, some of the voice acting fit, some of the voice acting didn't fit, some of the music didn't fit. Don't really care for that. This is not really going into anything major, like judging the show too harshly, because I really don't give a shit about things like that. What I do care about is the character and the story, which are the big things there, and development falls into both of those categories, so that's my main focus. This is the main big issue that I have with Dragon Ball Z, is that it's characters and stories. So, characters. To start, the main character of Dragon Ball Z is no other than Son Goku, and he's a guy that likes to fight a lot, and that's his entire character throughout the entire show. So anyone who wants to say, oh no, dude, you need to go watch Dragon Ball, it's a whole different thing. Goku, no. I shouldn't have to go back and watch Dragon Ball to understand Goku in Dragon Ball Z. If he's not developing as a character in Dragon Ball Z and I have to go watch a whole different series to understand him, isn't that a problem? Isn't it the job of the creators of the series to make me, understand how Goku is as a character without having to watch something else? Why do I have to start off from a whole other series that I'm probably not going to be interested in to start this one? That's already a flaw in the writing of that's your argument for why Goku is such a bad character and trying to justify it. It's not. Goku is a bad character because he has nothing going on for him. He likes fighting. That is it. Here's your generic shonen character. And he's probably the most underdeveloped shonen character I've... Then again, Fairy Tail was a thing. I mean, it has development in Fairy Tail, but it's pretty shitty. I'd rather have no development than shitty development any day. Goku as a character doesn't have anything going on. He just fights. He doesn't really have great relationships with all the other characters. Vegeta kind of uses him as a prop to kind of motivate himself, and that's really it. He doesn't have much of a relationship with his son. Doesn't really see much with Chi-Chi. Don't see much with any of the other characters. He's kind of just that guy that's really strong that they all depend on, and that's Goku's character. He doesn't have anything else going on. I mean, that's it. I honestly have nothing else I can say about Goku. He's just a poorly made character who's literally there to defeat the bad guys and be strong. That's it. Now, when you look at the other spectrum, you have really interesting characters like Vegeta. Vegeta is an actual character. He's not just a trait. He's not just, oh, I'm the Prince of all Saiyans. No, he's actually something. Like, he learns humility. Even though he started off to be really arrogant, he learned humility. He went from hating humanity to having a child with a human woman. And go on to defeat Cell. He's like, okay, I'm not strong, but this kid right here, he got it. He can do it. He can help save us, and I gotta put my pride to the side and do something. and developing a family and stuff like that. Like you actually see this develop throughout the entire series. After the Sand arc, when he gets to Namek, like when he gets to Namek and stuff like that, like he realizes like, man, I'm weak. I want to keep on getting stronger so I can go defeat Frieza, catch up to Kakarot. And it's like, okay, this man has an actual goal in sight, and his goals tend to change a little bit throughout the series. But like it went from him wanting to be immortal to him wanting to be stronger than Goku. And the stronger than Goku thing was his driving force throughout the entire series, but it was also other things as well to protect his family, to try to protect Earth. And Vegeta actually became a person that you can sit there and say, damn, dude, I feel for you. Like, for example, I know this is me probably being a little bit hypocritical and just going off on a tangent, but Resurrection of F. I honestly think Vegeta should have gotten a victory over Frieza. I don't think Goku should have gotten that one. I think that would have been well deserved for Vegeta. As a character that has the most development and the most growth, he deserved at least that. I mean, even Trunks defeated Frieza once. I think Vegeta deserved that one. I think Toriyama taking that away from Vegeta was just a big kick in the balls to anyone that actually gave a shit about a good character. But then when you get to someone like Goku, it's like, he's never really taken a loss and you never really see much from him from taking a loss. Like, oh, I lost, time to get stronger. Vegeta taking a loss is like, oh, I lost. Like, damn it, this can't happen again. I need to become stronger, and I need to, make sure this doesn't happen. I need to defeat that person. I need to show them that I am the principal of Saiyans, and I'm almighty, and I won't be defeated. Vegeta went from a character that was, in the beginning, like in the very beginning of his own lifetime, just not in the beginning of the series, he was strong, and he was always seen as strong. Then Vegeta ended up getting destroyed. I'm talking about Plant Vegeta.
King Vegeta, I have urgent news.
Speak, Butorega.
Bardock has gone absolutely mad, sire!
What's all the commotion about?
He's been telling everyone that Frieza plans to destroy Vegeta!
Wait, my son, the planet, or me?
Yes.
Freaking smartass.
But Plant Vegeta ended up getting destroyed, stuff like that. And then, he ended up ruling under Frieza. Then he tried to overthrow Frieza. And maybe using Vegeta might be too big of an example, or just taking a little bit too much. So we'll use someone like Gohan, or we can use someone like Piccolo. But when you look at this series, you see that some of these characters actually develop. Some of these characters actually, you can say you care for them. But Goku, being very strong, doesn't really make him much of a character. So that's just one of the things right there, is that characters aren't a big thing. And then getting to the side characters, even though some of them do get some development like Vegeta and Piccolo and Gohan, they get pushed to the side a lot. Not Vegeta in a sense, but people like Piccolo get pushed to the side, Tien, Yamcha. The rest of the Z fighters basically get pushed to the side. The only time where these characters weren't brushed to the side for the sake of plot and just other bullshit was during the Cell Saga, which admittedly might be the best saga. Everyone got development during the Cell Saga. I don't know why that one stood out so much and other ones didn't. Everyone got development. Yamcha, he was dealing with being a human and dealing with all these occurrences happening, dying and stuff like that. Like, he reflected on that. Tien is training and feeling weak, dude, I'm not weak. I'm strong. I gotta go show myself, improve myself. Even someone like that has developed a little bit, and you saw how he felt during the Cell Saga. Then Gohan, with his major development from coming from being the weak kid to being strong, to realizing man, Earth is in danger, and I'm a warrior. I have to help. And that there is development. That is a great development of a character. You're actually seeing growth. You're seeing them become a little bit more than what you thought they were. You had Cell, who was such an interesting bad guy, who just wanted to fight strong people. And it seemed like he was somewhat like Goku in some ways he was, but he wasn't as oblivious. He was smart, he was clever, and he was an interesting character. I think that's one of the reasons why the Cell Saga was so amazing. The androids develop as characters. Android 17 became a fucking park ranger. That's character development. So it goes to show you that everyone in the Cell Saga got development, but Goku really didn't change much, or he didn't really change at all, to my perspective. Now, I could be wrong, and there could have been some change that I didn't notice, but I didn't notice it. If I could notice somebody like Yamcha, going back and forth for himself, having his own conflicts, then obviously I would notice the main character, right? You'd think so. But it's just not something that's noticeable. You don't really see much with Goku. It's like, oh, I'm fighting, I'm strong, I'm powerful, bad guys must be defeated. That's it. That's it. There's no excuse for him not being a developed character. The Majin Buu saga is considered to be the worst saga to a lot of people. And in many ways, I guess I can see that happening. It's a lot of bullshit ass pulling, and it just seems really disinteresting at that point. And I guess it's really hard to finish when the Majin Buu saga was just kind of all over the place. Babidi, Deborah, blah blah, Majin Vegeta, all that shit. introducing fusion and whatnot, and it just seemed really sloppy. But the Majin Buu saga really wasn't that interesting. Characters kind of really went to the side. Like, they took a sideline role so fucking fast. Characters like Piccolo ended up being trainers to Goten and Kid Trunks. And it's like, okay? He was pushed aside for a long period of time, and he really didn't do much. Krillin didn't really do much. I think he actually quit fighting at that point. Yamcha quit fighting at that point. Gohan became weaker. A complete 180 from the Cell saga, which developed characters, which remain to be interesting. In the Majin Buu saga, I can't say I cared for many of the characters at that point because you didn't really see many of the characters. It seemed like a lot of them were being demeaned, a lot of their roles were diminished way more than what they were during the Cell saga. Again, maybe I'm probably nitpicking at this and maybe like, oh, they're side characters, they don't deserve any development. I don't see it that way. The Cell Saga is a perfect execution, a perfect example as to, how to develop a character can be, then why couldn't the Majin Buu Saga continue that? Yamcha quitting fighting, okay, somewhat makes sense, Cell Saga was rough on him. Tien and other characters being pushed to the sidelines, I guess it makes sense. The enemies are getting bigger, therefore, certain characters won't be as relevant. And that's probably going to be the argument, like, oh, the enemies are getting ridiculously strong, these guys just can't keep up. The Saiyans are just super powerful. That's dumb. I'm sorry. It's dumb. It seems like characters push it aside for the sake of power scaling. The bad guys are so superior that these characters that we're developing are no longer developed anymore. They're just like, they're pushed them to the side. We're gonna push them away. We're gonna push. Tien, no more. Roshi, no more. Piccolo, what? Please, no. Gohan, not really. Pushing everyone away and pushing everyone to the side and not really making them relevant. Gohan ended up becoming relevant towards the end where he became Mr. Gohan and he was all badass and shit like that. But it really wasn't much, is my thing. Like in the beginning, yeah, the Great Sandman and all that shit like that. It was interesting, but again, not much really going on. Goku ended up saving the day, really strong, really powerful, yeah, I'm Son Goku, blah blah blah. It was the same old formula over and over again. The peak of Dragon Ball Z is going to be the Cell arc, hands down. The most development, that had a really interesting story that developed over time, and it stayed interesting. Characters were relevant to an extent. It wasn't a great extent, but to an extent they were relevant. And these are my big reasons as to why I just don't like Dragon Ball Z, why I think it's shit. It's because it had potential to be great. And at every turn, it just seemed to shoot itself in the foot. Goku, your main character, the main character of the series, isn't a character I can say I care for. Being a generic shonen character, I guess that's expected, but let's look at things like One Piece. Monkey D. Luffy, he's a character I care for more than Goku. You have a backstory that's really interesting that you can look into. You have Luffy, expressed himself. There's personality to him besides being a generic shonen character. He cares for his crew and his shipmates, and you see the relationships that they have with them, and you see the relationships that he has with other people. It's interesting to see. He's pretty well developed in comparison to someone like Goku, whose only trait is he likes fighting. He's defined by a hobby, as opposed to being defined by his personality, his morals, his goals. Luffy has a goal, which makes him a million times more interesting than Goku. To find One Piece, to be the king of the pirates, to help his friends achieve their goals. That's interesting to me. That's a pretty good character, he develops throughout time, stuff like that. He realizes how weak he is, really needs to get powerful, stuff like that. He cries, he breaks down. You see that with Luffy. He gets defeated, he gets up, and he tries again. That is an interesting character. You do not get that with Goku. You don't get any of that. He gets beat up, comes back stronger. Zenkai boost. Talking about the review that I made of Dragon Ball Z about 2 years ago, that was based off nostalgia. When you're younger, things seem way more awesome than what they really are. For example, Bleach. I was 12 to 13 when I started Bleach. I went apeshit. I mentioned this in one of my videos I made before. Bleach was fucking cool to me back then. It was amazing. I didn't care for characters. I didn't care for development or story. I saw guys with swords fighting each other and fucking shooting magic out of their hands. I didn't give a shit. That was awesome. But nostalgia shouldn't really cloud how you see a series. Nostalgia shouldn't be a driving force like, oh, when I was younger, this was awesome, and it's awesome now. You have to be able to take off the rose-colored glasses and see, yeah, this is pretty shitty. Or, yeah, that's kind of dumb. Or, it's not that well. It's not working that well, or it's not developed as well. And I see that with things like Dragon Ball Z. I don't really see much development with it. I don't really see much build with it. I don't really see anything interesting really going on. And it's one of the reasons why I think Dragon Ball Z is pretty shitty. Now, shit could be going a little bit too far. This is my video on Dragon Ball Z and how I feel about it. Because I said I was going to make it, and this is it. It could be better if it was just worked on better. Anyway, guys, that's just my opinion. Arigato and Yamato.